occasions, and doctors' offices filled her with fear. Because DACA doesn't afford
So just got
protections
back
to
from the
her
Walmart
family,
pharmacy.
she often hides her status and wonders what would
Took
happen
my
if somebody
antidepressant
that
and
she
my
trusted
anti-anxiety
outed them to
medication.
the immigration authorities. Today we
And
have this incredible opportunity for young people like Esther and Jose and Paul and so many of you who are in the audience
hopefully it'll
take
make me
this
pass
first
out.
step of reporting the bill favorably to the
The
House
AC
floor.
guy is
This
supposed to be
first
coming
step
today.
to establish a roadmap to
Landlord
citizenship,
apparently,
not just
actually,
for dreamers like
allegedly,
Esther and Jose and Paul, but also
allegedly,
for the
has
795,000
scheduled a roofing carpenter
U.S.
to come and
born
fix my
children
leaky
who
ass
have
roof.
parents who are dreamers. That's 795,000 children who won't have to worry about being separated from their moms and dads. So if Republicans care about family separation, this is a good interim
I don't know
step.
why my wife
But
never
it
wanted to
isn't just
complain about it.
families, it's also about doing what's best for our workforce and our economy. We know that dreamers work in nearly every
Anyway,
occupation.
so
Teachers, service providers, entrepreneurs, construction workers, innovators, doctors, researchers, you
I'm
name
just
it.
watching
And
the
households that include dreamers make tremendous contributions to our economy, generating millions of dollars.
I'm
The
watching the
benefits are immense. But most importantly, we have a chance
House
to
Judiciary
redefine,
Committee
to
hearing
reclaim the values that make us truly great as a nation
on
by
full
passing
committee
this
markup
framework. It is noteworthy that Sunday marks the 95th
of a
anniversary of
bill,
enactment of the Immigration Act of 1924, which
something
enacted
to do with the
racist
Dreamers.
laws that limited the numbers of immigrants allowed entry and prohibiting the entry of Asian immigrants. And today, I sit in the House as the first South Asian American woman ever elected to the House and one of only 14
Hopefully it'll go on for a
immigrants
while
of
and put my ass to sleep.
535 in the House of Representatives. This is a first step, not a last, and I want to thank you, Mr. Chairman, and Subcommittee Chairwoman Zoe Lofgren, for everything that you have done. Let's pass this bill and let's advance these common sense, humane solutions for our dreamers and upholding the rights of everyone.
Thank the gentlelady. For what purpose is the gentleman from Ohio seek recognition?
Mr. Chairman, I have an amendment. Yes.
Clerk will report the amendment.
Mr. Chairman, I reserve a point of order.
Gentlelady reserves a point of order.
Amendment to the amendment in the nature of a substitute to H.R. 2820, offered by Mr.
Chairman,
Sherman
I
of
ask that the
Ohio.
amendment be considered as read. The amendment will be without objection.
Welcome, viewer.
Thank you, Mr.
Gentleman
Chairman.
is recognized.
Please do say hello in the chats.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thousands and thousands of Americans are injured and killed by drunk drivers.
I really didn't sleep much last night.
Every year. Mothers Against Drunk Drivers estimate
Probably fell asleep at like 10 o'clock and then woke back up at midnight.
picked up for a DUI or DWI or whatever that particular
Tried to get back to
state,
sleep, just couldn't. Too much anxiety, too much depression,
drunk driving.
too many miserable thoughts just spinning around my head, man.
Probably driven drunk 75 to 100 times when they didn't get picked up, and were still exactly the same danger to the motoring public and pedestrians as they were when they did get picked up. And I think on both sides of the aisle we would all agree that as members of Congress, it's our responsibility to do everything that we can to keep the American people, to keep families safe, to keep drunk drivers off our highways. And
Whoever you are, appreciate you joining me.
one of the many
Do feel free to say hello in the chats. I like to hear from people.
It would have just the opposite effect with respect to drunk driving. Presently, our immigration laws,
Even if it's just a random stranger.
individuals
I
involved
do miss my regular viewers.
And while HR 2820 adds
I don't know if these new people that are just trying to watch me sleep are scaring them off.
misdemeanor offenses,
I'm not trying to
I would argue that
appeal to any particular audience segment. I'm just
and in HR 2180
fucking having trouble sleeping.
2820 do not go far
And
enough
it seems like the only way I can get any sleep is
and pedestrians safe.
putting on a live
HR
stream and
2820 makes it ineligible for aliens to adjust
listening to
their
boring
status
ass news.
if they have 3 or more misdemeanors. However, the applicability of up to 2 misdemeanor offenses can be waived if the alien does not been convicted of an offense in the previous
Ugh.
2-year period. As such, an alien could have 4 convictions and a pending arrest and still have his status adjusted under this bill. My amendment is simple. It ensures that individuals who have been convicted of a DUI offense, and I'm talking about a conviction here, not just that they drove, many, many times, but an actual conviction for a DUI offense that caused a serious injury to another, or a person that's been convicted of 2 or more DUIs. So if a person, again, just to repeat that, either a DUI that you've had a serious injury to an individual, or 2 DUIs, that person would be ineligible to have their status adjusted. I would hope that my colleagues on both sides of the aisle would support this amendment, would help keep impaired drivers off our roads. We should not be passing laws which shield drunk drivers from removal or reward them for their dangerous conduct by fast-tracking them to get a green card. And if you vote against this amendment, in essence, that's what you're doing. I would also like to compliment my colleague on the other side of the aisle, and I'm here right now.
If you can't chat,
working,
please do click the like button.
with me on another piece of legislation that we've been trying
Let me
to
know you're
pass for
friendly.
some time now relative to DUI, and that would be that we actually have a way of determining if people have multiple offenses in different states. Right now, it's very hard to know.
Got some pretty hateful trolls on this channel over the years.
Cincinnati, and oftentimes, and I've practiced law for almost 2 decades before coming here, and people oftentimes, they'll say they have no DUIs, and if this is a first-time offense, and it may be a first-time offense in Ohio, but it turns out they've got 1 in Indiana, which is very close, or 2 in Kentucky, so they're oftentimes treated, and they don't necessarily get
Morning, Scott.
caught for doing that. So this would actually, it would make it much easier for law enforcement to determine that a person has multiple DUI.
Of course, it's been morning for me since fucking midnight.
That would be treated.
God, I really wish I could just get a couple more hours of sleep.
That's not this bill. This bill would do what I said before. It would basically just say if you have a DUI and it's caused a serious injury to another person, that you would be ineligible, or if you have 2 DUIs, whether or not there was an injury involved or not. With that, I yield back.
Mr. Shabbat, would you yield for a question?
Yes, I'd be happy to yield.
Thank you. I'm just wondering if if someone is convicted of driving under the influence with the cause of serious bodily injury or death, are you aware of any jurisdiction which that is not a felony, and in which case they would already be barred under the existing language of the statute?
They're oftentimes only convicted of a misdemeanor DUI.
No, but I'm saying for your amendment says if someone is convicted of driving under the influence or impaired driving and was the cause of serious bodily injury or death of another person, that already exists in the underlying bill because that would be a felony in every jurisdiction.
Yeah, it doesn't require the proof of a serious bodily injury in the conviction.
Gentlemen, this time has expired.
Chairman?
What purpose is the gentlelady from California seek refuge?
I oppose the amendment, and I'll tell you why. DUI is a very serious issue, and no one wants to see individuals who are true threats to public safety obtain relief under this bill. The bill accomplishes that by barring applicants convicted of serious offense or repeat offenses. But here's the important thing. It authorizes the secretary to deny those who pose a threat to public safety, even if they have a single misdemeanor. So let's break this down. As the gentleman from Rhode Island has mentioned, someone who is convicted of an offense driving while intoxicated that causes a serious bodily injury or death has been a felony and is barred under the bill. Anyone who's convicted further of an offense that is punishable by a maximum term of imprisonment of 1 year is barred from relief. So that felony DUI conviction is already covered in the bill. In If you have one conviction for DUI with a suspended license, and you knew your license was suspended, you've committed a crime of moral turpitude, actually, and that bars you under another section of the bill if you're sentenced to more than 6 months in jail. And also, if you have more than 2 misdemeanor convictions, you're out. These are tough provisions, but as I've said, to ensure that no one who poses a threat to public safety slips through the crack, the bill gives the Secretary discretion to provisionally deny an applicant with even a single DUI conviction. Now, this was a provision that was not added lightly, considering what the administration's attitude has been towards immigrants. It's difficult to provide the current Secretary with the authority to provisionally deny applicants based on a single misdemeanor conviction, not to mention juvenile delinquency adjudications, neither of which are disqualifying for other immigrants. But we do need to keep our country safe, so we must trust that the administration will exercise the generous discretion that this bill provides in a manner that places value on the safety of all Americans. The amendments that seek to further restrict eligibility requirements really are not well.
I'm glad I only pay $20 a month for internet access.
That a single DUI conviction is a serious matter, but we could look to Congress. There are members of Congress, including, well, I don't want to mention names, who have been convicted of DUIs, and they serve with us, and they are not removed from the country. So people make mistakes, and laws and policy decisions should reflect that. And so for these reasons, and because we have protected the public safety in the underlying bill, the amendment, although I'm sure offered in good faith, should be.
Would the gentlelady yield for a second?
I would be happy to yield.
Thank you. And just in a moment, not on the substance, and as we're going to talk more about that, but just in reference to the ownership, you just stated that they're not being removed from the country as members who have a DUI. That's exactly right. They're American citizens. They're under a different standard here, and we're not talking about American citizens at this point. Just to make that clear.
Gentlelady yield?
I would be happy to yield.
Yeah, but we are talking about what poses a public safety threat. Someone who was brought here at a year or two old and has a DUI conviction maybe from years ago poses no more and no less of a public safety threat than a member of Congress who has a DUI conviction from several years ago. This legislation is intended to recognize reality. These people are Americans. They are Americans in every sense except for the big piece of paper. And to say that, to imply that we should have one standard for members of Congress who can have a DUI conviction and another where dreamers who are DUI, where a single DUI, under whatever circumstances, they're automatically expelled from the country is simply wrong.
Reclaiming my time, I will just say this, that we have built into this bill a fail-safe measure so that if the Secretary finds that an individual poses a public safety threat to our country, they are denied. And I think that that is the bottom line provision that protects our public safety. I'm sure that our friends across the aisle do not question the integrity, nor do we, of the Secretary of Homeland Security and his toughness in applying.
Fuck is my cat doing? I guess Dingo ate all the fucking duck cat food again.
Gentlelady's time has expired. Mr. Chairman. Gentlemen, for what purpose does the gentleman from Arizona seek recognition?
Dingo.
Gentleman is recognized.
What is
Thank
this?
you, Mr. Chairman.
Not
Just wanna
fucking
briefly
yours.
close
That's what that is.
The statement that someone who is convicted of a DUI, where someone has been serious
Damn.
bodily injury or a death has occurred, is always a felony. That's simply not accurate. I had an extensive legal practice
Fucking irritating
in
ass
this
dog.
area of law, and I can tell you that there are many times that in my county, the county attorney would turn these down, and someone would get a DUI, misdemeanor.
Stop eating the fucking cat's food, you asshole. You still got food in your fucking bowl.
etc.
fucking
But
Christ.
having said that, I'm sure that many of you have had the opportunity, as I have, to meet with DACA eligible.
Eat your food, dingo.
DACA is implemented by the Obama administration.
Your food is over there.
Who came illegally into the United States prior to 2012.
Bad
effectively,
dog.
Impacting those from 2007 to 2012. Those who came before 2007 or after 2012 were ineligible for deferred action, meaning that any action, including removal from the United States, was deferred. for that
And now I'm smoking another fucking
There were
cigarette.
approximately 800,000 individuals who registered as DACA applicants. 40,000 were found to be eligible to be in the country under some other statutory authority, and 70,000 were found to be ineligible at first blush. The remaining 690,000 have had their status under the law effectively stayed for these last years. Groups on both sides of this issue have estimated that there may be between 1 and 1.2 million people who were eligible to apply for DACA but failed to apply for whatever reason. So advocates for DACA amnesty have urged that we grant unconditional amnesty for the 690,000 who applied and the additional 1 to 1.2 million who failed to follow even the Obama administration's relatively simple DACA requirement of registration. If that occurs, we will have nearly 2 million people given amnesty. I've only met one person who was actually in this hearing, some of you may recall this, who was ever in favor of limiting the DACA amnesty to DACA recipients. They all, with the exception of one individual who testified there, all want their parents, who were the ones who ostensibly brought the DACA person to the country illegally in the first place, to be granted an amnesty status as well. Most DACA recipients want amnesty for themselves and their illegal alien parents. The number of these illegal aliens is conservatively estimated at more than 2 million. Thus, if we add these figures together, we'll be granting amnesty to nearly 4 million people at the low end of the estimates that I've seen. Then, of course, we have the issue of moral imperative. Was it morally acceptable for the Obama administration to set arbitrary brackets protecting individuals who were illegally brought into the country between 2007 and 2012, while excluding protection for all others similarly situated who were brought into the country outside of those brackets? What then is the moral justification for preventing DACA protection for those outside the brackets? And I'm asking that because we're talking today literally about additional millions of people who would seek similar amnesty, and this particular bill, 2820, goes well beyond even the DACA applicants. So the moral imperative has always been to treat all people the same, and what we see here is a distinction. And my colleagues on the other side wish to expand that population that they're going to give preferential treatment to. So it becomes an incentive to come and stay in this country illegally. The majority bill is not merely an amnesty bill for the DACA population applied under the rules implemented by the Obama administration. It actually expands the number of people who will get amnesty. This is the reality of this vexing issue. To whom will the Democrats give amnesty, and to whom will the Republicans give amnesty? And so we sit here, and I see expansion on the part of the Democrats in this bill. It's going to keep going, and I view this as someone just said, a first step, and I think that's indeed what the intention is, to a universal amnesty. So, Mr. Chairman, I think Mr. Shavett's correct. It's correct factually. It is imperative that you have this language in there. I would urge my colleagues to support Mr. Shavett's.
Would the gentleman yield?
For the 7 seconds, yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to point out that the first provision in Mr. Shavett's amendment would also be disqualifying because it's a crime of moral turpitude, which is already barred under the bill. So, to some extent, the amendment is superfluous, and I thank the gentleman for yielding.
Gentleman's time has expired. The gentleman, for what purpose is the gentleman from Arizona, Mr. Stanton Seagrave?
Chair, I move to strike the last word.
Gentleman's recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I respect my colleague and friend from Arizona. I respectfully disagree with him on this important issue. I want to thank you, Mr. Chairman, and Chairwoman Lofgren, chair of the important subcommittee, and Congresswoman, Jayapal. It's been a lot of fun working with you on this very, very important issue. Today is a historic day for our Judiciary Committee. We have the privilege of discussing immigration bills that will affect an estimated 2 million people in the United States. Dreamers, TPS, and DED holders have been woven into the fabric of our country for decades. We know that they are teachers in our schools, leaders in our community, the owners of local businesses back in our districts. They are Americans just like you and I. Dreamers are constantly reminded of their undocumented status when they are not legally able to work, travel abroad, obtain a driver's license, or receive federal financial aid. These everyday things that we as citizens don't give a second thought about will finally be obtainable for these individuals with the passage of this piece of legislation. My state, Arizona, is one of the states with the highest number of dreamers who stand to benefit from this legislation. There are 9,000 dreamers in my district alone, young people who have to confront the stressful factors associated with their undocumented status every single day. And I want to highlight one of them. Reina Montoya, a dreamer and educator who has caused ripples of positive change in my district. She graduated from Arizona State University with a Bachelor's of Arts, later earned a master's degree in secondary education from Grand Canyon University. She became a public high school teacher in Phoenix. She has grown into a remarkable young woman. Despite the fear, anxiety, and stress associated with having undocumented status in our country, she used dance as her refuge for dealing with these emotions and the possibility of losing her dad to deportation. She founded Aliento, an organization located in Mesa, Arizona, that supports other undocumented youth, children, and mixed status families through art, leadership development, organizing, and education. Aliento has become a place where young people can go to process their feelings while simultaneously changing the policies and structures causing trauma in the first place. A place more communities in America need. Last year, Reina earned a spot on Forbes 30 under 30 social entrepreneurs list for finding a way to turn an impossible situation into a catalyst for positive change. If Reina, an individual deeply impacted by Congress's inaction, can inspire such change, we as members of this body have a moral responsibility to fix the system that is outdated, unjust, and broken. Today, we are taking that first step. We are marking up legislation that forces us to confront the responsibility that we have to dreamers, TPS, and DED holders in our communities to do everything in our power to pass legislation that finally recognizes their presence, their work, their dignity, their contributions, and ultimately their humanity. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to insert into the record two publications, one titled Undocumented Status, the Impact on Teens and Their Families Living in the United States, and one other, Turning Trauma into Hope for Arizona's DACA Recipients.
Without
I yield
objection.
back. Thank you.
Without objection. Gentleman yields back. Gentleman from Louisiana, for what purpose does the gentleman from Louisiana seek recognition?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Move to strike last word.
Gentleman is recognized.
Thank you, and I want to yield my time to Mr. Shep.
Thank you very much for yielding. I greatly appreciate it. Just a couple of points. First of all, DUIs are almost never never crimes of moral turpitude, and case by case shows that. Secondly, also, the public safety option is so restrictive because the secretary himself or herself is the only one who can do this waiver. And what DHS secretary has the time to look at every single case.
Don't forget to click that like button, man.
In the legislation, Secretary of Homeland Security may, as a matter of non-delegable discretion, meaning that he or she has to take that decision themselves. They can't have one of their staff people or some underling take care of. They have to do that themselves. It's non-delegable. And then finally, our number one priority ought to be protecting the public. This is an opportunity to actually step up and do that. We're talking about somebody here who not just had a DUI, but they had a DUI in which a person was either killed as a result of this person driving drunk So a person is killed. We're talking about somebody that could be one of your family members, or a person that received a serious injury, a serious bodily injury. So we're not talking about a psychological injury. We're talking about a serious bodily injury. It could be the loss of an eye, for example. There are cases in which these things are talked about. It could be the loss of a limb, or the loss of use of a limb, permanent, generally. It could mean, for example, a serious disfigurement. So we're talking about the person who suffered some serious damage as a result of the person driving drunk. Or in the other case, we're talking about not only did they do it once, but they did it a second time or multiple times. And so these are folks who are not U.S. citizens who we're going to make an exception and allow them to stay responsibly, that are going to be good citizens of this nation. They're going to work to support their families, keep their fellow citizens safe. But we're talking here about people that have driven drunk and seriously injured people already, or have done it twice. And as the Mothers Against Drunk Drivers organization will tell you, again, it's not every time a person gets picked up.
Oh, thanks,
We're
man.
talking about multiple times that they've done this and not gotten picked up for it. So our priority ought to be protecting the American public, innocent people out there. And this amendment makes it very clear. If you vote for the amendment, that's what you're doing. If you're against this amendment, you're putting the American public at risk. And if my Democratic colleagues are so sure that under the bill these people would be denied, then they should have no problem accepting the amendment. And I thank the gentleman for yielding. Go back from time to now.
I thank the gentleman, and I would just urge support for the amendment and an abundance of caution. I yield back.
What witness is the gentlelady?
Mr. Chairman, I'll move to strike the last word. Mr. Chairman, my district, I'm proud to say, is home to the largest number of dreamers in this country. And I want to correct the record about who dreamers really are. They're U.S. Marines. Jose Angel Garibay, who lived in my district in Santa Ana. He enlisted in the United States Marine Corps, deployed to Iraq. In 2003, at the age of 21, he was killed. He made the ultimate sacrifice for the United States. He was the first service member out of Orange County to die in Iraq. And he was a dreamer, and he received his U.S. citizenship posthumously after he made the ultimate sacrifice. This is who the dreamers are. Mr. Chairman.
Gentleman yields.
Wow.
Gentleman, what's your question?
I think strike last word. I'm just not going to take long. Again, I think the points been made by the gentleman from Ohio are valid points. I think as he has pointed out, there is discussion here. This is why this a bill, I think, as I've stated from the outset, should have been looked at a lot harder so that we could actually find the real solutions that actually could solve this problem instead of moving forward with this. I support the gentleman's amendment. Yield back.
What purpose does the gentlelady have to say?
Strike the last word.
Please vote.
Mr. Chairman, I think you would admit that we have good friends on the other side of the aisle. For those of us who've been on this committee, we've had the opportunity to engage, and certainly I've done that with Mr. Chavez, so I respect his concerns. I think it is important to emphasize the pain and desperation of dreamers and individuals who would benefit under both the American Promise Act and, of course, the act dealing with the TPS and DREAM Act as well. I've interacted with all of them. We proudly boast in Houston as being one of the most diverse cities in the nation, speaking 98 languages plus. I think it has grown. I relish going to schools, speaking before audiences that remind me of the United Nations. And so, juxtaposed along that is
is my long-standing work with Mothers Against Drunk Driving and respecting the concerns. That is why this legislation didn't fool around. We already have a strict, stringent, absolutely airtight language because the members who wrote this legislation, as we have done over the years, I've introduced comprehensive immigration reform for 2 decades plus. We would not allow, if you will, the safety and security of the nation to be jeopardized. I just came out of Homeland Security, where people were complaining about those who are coming across the border. My friends, 189,000 plus of them are family units. They're 11-year-olds like Laura. Some of them have even lost their life as children. But what we have today dealing with is those who are here and who have been working extensively. So let me just share with you, first, in this legislation, anyone who is convicted of an offense that is punishable by a maximum term of imprisonment of more than 1 year is barred from relief. That means that whether you kill someone, harm someone, or they just bypassed your car and you were caught drunk or under the influence. So a person with a felony DUI conviction is absolutely barred. And the majority of states will charge a person with felony on